Well, most of my research is focused on climate change, and particularly how rainfall might be changing globally. So we've all heard the stories now in the newspapers: more floods, more droughts, more rain, less rain. There's really a great deal of uncertainty still on what the global climate is really doing. So my research is focused mostly on satellite measurements, and then trying to interpret those measurements to see, how much of the changes we really understand and don't understand. We understand frighteningly little about what's really happening. We know that during El Niños, rainfall increases a little bit globally, and that's since the El Niño is a little bit warmer climate than the rest of the climate. There is some indication that we might see more rain as the Earth continues to warm. But it's really not certain enough yet. That is, the measurements we're taking, the interpretation of those measurements is uncertain enough that we're not 100% sure that that's really what's happening. Well, most of the research programs or projects that we do have either involve creating the algorithms that retrieve rainfall from many of these satellites that are now currently in orbit, or doing the more careful analysis of what might be right or wrong with these products. So there's a number of ongoing projects, and each of them has a little bit different tilt. Generally, for this whole climate change research that I'm involved in, at some point I think it's important that the scientific community, and that is us at the moment, begin to really answer the question of what are we looking at in terms of climate change. What are the implications of continued CO2? Will we in fact get warmer, or are there feedback effects that will keep us reasonably constant in temperature? And so we can't wait long enough to actually measure it. That's sort of, we can't afford to do that. So we really have to answer the question earlier of what is, in my particular case, the rainfall likely to do in a warmer climate environment that we're moving into. And so if I, in my research group, can address that question and have some confidence that we understand how rainfall will be modified, then I would be very happy. Most of our students end up working in a government lab or university lab. There's so much demand right now for people who can do climate change research that really the doors are wide open as soon as someone gets their PhD from here. Some of them go to industry that has the need for advising, consulting, and being able to communicate intelligently with a science community. The graduate student can really expect to sort of finish his master's thesis in 2 years to 2.5 years. And by that time, usually there's a publication coming out and a number of conferences you get to attend to. So there's once the initial work is done, there's a great deal of opportunity for students to travel and usually by the time they graduate, see more of the world that they really want to.